We'll get to that in just a little bit, but both of them caught up with Shedeur Sanders not too long ago. That's where we begin.
Great to be joined by Shedeur Sanders about an hour after you wrapped up your throwing session. How'd you feel like it went out there today?
I feel like it went pretty good. I feel like we missed a couple. You know, we wish we'd have got back, but for the most part, I think it was the best one yet.
Shedeur, during this whole pre-draft run-up, what has been the thing that you have really wanted to accomplish? Look, you're not playing any games. Your tape is already out there.
Yeah.
So what you do here today kind of, for me, is kind of inconsequential, right? It don't really mean that much.
Yeah.
I know how you can play. What have you wanted to accomplish over the past couple of weeks, past couple of months as we head on into the draft?
I would say definitely is getting closer with God. You know, that's what I'll say is the most thing, because you gotta understand people come at you every different ways. You know, the devil try to attack what's going on different ways. I know I'm one of God's favorites, so I know just getting that relationship, staying close to him throughout all this, it just helped me get through everything.
Specific to the decision to throw today, you know, you guys, Lewis said, a lot of tape on you out there already, and some quarterbacks opt not to throw during the pre-draft process. What kind of pushed you in the direction to make sure that you threw today here at your showcase?
Well, I would say it would be kind of selfish of me to not be out there with my receivers. That was the main plan. Will didn't get invited to the combine, and I know he was better than a lot of guys out there. So it was kind of like, and my brother also, he didn't get drafted, and a couple of my other teammates. So it was kind of just one of those things to where I want everybody to come here. I want all the teams to be able to be here, for them to get the shine and for them to get an opportunity in front of everybody.
You know, I talked to your dad a lot about the kind of things that would help you be successful at the next level, right? So when you're going through this process, as much as they're interviewing you, you can interview them about what are they going to structure around you.
I definitely know that.
Exactly.
I definitely know that.
So tell
That's
us.
why they love me, they hate me. You know, one day they love me, one day they hate me.
No
it
question.
is
So
what
I'll
it
tell
is.
you what, make them love you here. Tell them what does Shedeur Sanders need? What do you hope to get out of the NFL to help you reach your maximum potential as fast as possible?
All I need is opportunity. Simple. Whatever.
Draft process, how have you handled probably some of the mental rigors that go along with it, right? People talking about you maybe going to this team, maybe going to that time. Your stock is, you know, one day it's high, one day it's lower. How do you sort of handle all that comes along with this process?
Well, I'd say I have a great team. I have great support around me, and I know what the business is, and I know what it's about. So I don't really pay attention to the media and everything, because I have a great mentor, which is my dad, that's able to tell me, oh, you know, this is just a part of what it is. So I truly don't care when I come out here and throw. I don't care who's there. I don't care who's not there. You know, I'm out here focused on completing footballs, and that's it. So I don't know even who was here. That's how it is at Colorado games. You get all these celebrities, different people here. It's like, I don't even know they're there. I'm so focused.
Well, I knew they were there when we came here last year, and we did the game against Colorado State. I was standing down on the sideline going, is there a football game going on, or is this a concert? What is this down here? Because it was so tight. You know, there's so many people. What was that? You know, let me ask you this then. This leads me to this question. That environment.
I just find ways to just get sharper each and every year.
Right.
Well, there you have it. Shedeur Sanders, again, just fresh off of his throwing session here at the Colorado Showcase. We really appreciate you joining us. Best of luck over these next 3 weeks.
Appreciate it, man.
There's a really great picture by you guys and by Shedeur of who he is as a person, right? And that's one element of this. But, Lewis, you got to watch the workout live this afternoon. Let's talk the football angle of it. What did you see?
You saw the things that you really, Laura, expected to see, and I know that sounds like a real obvious answer, but what I mean by that is this is a guy who's just a very smooth operator, okay? He's someone who's very smooth in the pocket with his feet. He's someone who has a very smooth, fluid delivery process. It's not one that's really compromised or rather characteristic of a lot of raw horsepower. It's just a smooth, efficient delivery. Look, Shedeur's game has really been about his decision-making, his accuracy, his touch, his ability to layer the football. He can drive it with some horsepower when he needs to, but that's not really the hallmark of his game. And look, he threw a nice 7 route today.
Here for Shedeur as far as the throwing session was concerned.
Yeah, Dan, you said all week you needed to see if the ball jumped off of his hand. What did you see when you watched the workout?
Yeah, so before I get to that, I do think it's important to point out two parts of his comments. I think, one, we can't praise Baker Mayfield and fall in love with Baker Mayfield because of his charisma, cockiness, his self-belief, and then kind of view it differently with Shedeur. I heard a lot of Baker listening to Shedeur and the confidence, and I think it's great. I also loved his answer when he talked about why he threw, guys, and when he said, well, there were some teammates of mine that didn't get to go to the combine or didn't get invited, and I knew if I threw, all those teams would come from the other guy. And you don't see a ton of examples of that on tape, and I wanted to see if it showed a little bit today.
Yeah, interesting point there either way. Now, we'll continue to show you the video of what this workout looked like, but we did hear more from Deion. Let's go to that first.
You know your son better than anybody.
Yes,
You've
I
been
do.
with him, I mean, clearly. What do you think Shedeur needs in order for an organization to get the best out of him? What kind of, like, if you were,
Understanding,
they should be asking you
They
those
need
questions.
a relationship. They need someone that is not afraid to communicate.
Right.
And it does seem like throughout this process, people are connecting him to certain teams. And one of the questions, you just sort of touched on this a little bit, but hey, is how much does the father, Deion Sanders, want to be involved in where his son lands?
What would I
You
be
wanna put that to
involved
bed?
for?
Like, yeah.
This is my show. I got this. I'm the band director here. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm straight. I keep telling everybody I'm good here.
Yeah.
They didn't believe me, so we had to ink it.
Yeah.
So I'm good. I ain't going nowhere.
Because I think he kind of answered that. But either way, Jeremy, let's go here. Assuming Cam Ward gets taken first overall, what do we know about potential landing spots for Sanders? What are you hearing?
Yeah, Laura, the people I've talked to believe that Shedeur Sanders is on the short list of players under consideration for the Cleveland Browns, along with Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, even Mason Graham. There is some love for Shedeur in that Browns building, but they spent a lot of time with Abdul Carter, a lot, so it could go that way. Giants certainly consideration at 3, but talking to teams in the top 10, they believe that the Giants might have tipped their hand with getting both Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. Maybe they're
Giants, Travis Hunter would be my pick at 2. If I'm the Browns, Travis Hunter is my pick at 2. It's an easy decision for me. If some reason that they don't take him, if I'm the Giants and it's Shedeur Sanders or Travis Hunter, I really like Shedeur. This is an easy decision. I'm taking Travis Hunter as quickly as possible. I really think the Raiders still make a ton of sense. And I know the Geno Smith trade and contract is what it is. The best place situation or scheme-wise for Shedeur is to play point guard, to be Brock Purdy, to be Tua Tagovailoa, a little bit of Joe Burrow. You want him to be capable of doing that scheme-wise. Chip Kelly has run so many systems in his life, adaptable. He has plenty capability to go do that. I think it's the ideal situation for Shedeur Sanders. You don't have to get on the field right away. You have a veteran in Geno, might be able to sit for 2 years, learn, and then hit the ground running.
We know there are a ton of Giants-affiliated people there, Lewis. What should the Giants do, in your mind, at number 3?
Look, I think the Giants will take someone other than Shedeur. I just don't think there's a lot of conviction on the part of the Giants right now when you're talking about drafting him number 3 overall. Now, if you're talking about Shedeur going number 9 overall, like to the New Orleans Saints, many people would ask, well, what's the difference between?
Really difficult investment to make. That being said, like, there's a chance Shedeur Sanders becomes an excellent quarterback in the NFL. You can't tell me there isn't.
Right.
And we have learned time and again that teams do misevaluate these players coming out of college. I'd like to give myself another cut because I am not convinced that Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston gives this team even a full year answer for 2025.
Such a picture into the dilemma that these teams are facing, especially at the top. Jeremy, let's say a team does